Hello, thank you for everyone who's joined me for this webinar on helping your teens create a roadmap to their future. So this webinar is about goal setting. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jodie Siemens, and pretty much I help empower parents whilst helping students build strategies. So yeah, it's a bit of a help there for the parents and essentially for the students themselves. So, the webinar, helping your team create a roadmap to their future. So, tonight we're going to discuss why it's important for our teenagers to have goals. We're going to talk about goal setting itself, and we're going to go through the process of how you can help your teens set goals. So, firstly, why is it important for your teenagers to have goals? And I think teenager goal setting isn't something that I suppose we're used to doing. But if we can get the teenagers to understand that this is about helping them increase their self confidence, and it's about establishing a level of work ethic and perseverance on their behalf to make sure that they are in things for the long term. Goals give us something to work towards. They give us a sense of purpose and it helps with motivation. So, a few weeks ago, I did a webinar on how to keep your teens motivated. So, this is certainly one way of doing it is setting goals and long-term goals to help them with that. And with a bit of luck, with a lot of hard work, at the end, there is always something to celebrate. So what we have here is having goals helps our students focus. When they create and set specific goals within their school regime, it's really about understanding that they learn how to focus when you're setting goals because you have pretty much you have an aim, and say if you were someone with a bow and arrow, you're shooting at the target and it's really about focusing on exactly what that target is. So it helps them with their time management and it helps them with their resources and how to use those more efficiently. So, in addition to referring to goals, it will also, as I mentioned before, help the students gain a level of motivation because their goal is something that they want. And when they're working towards something that they want, you'll find that they will be highly motivated to move forward with that. So the next slide here, we've got academic goals for high school and academic goals for middle school, depending on how your high schools are set up, help ensure performance. So by setting a goal, you're also in a way of helping the child improve their own school performance because they end up by remaining accountable to themselves. They're accountable for their own decisions, the choices they make around their habits, whether they be homework habits, studying habits, sitting around watching TV style habits. And it's really about a level of accountability on their behalf and whether they achieve those and the successes that they get. So when you've got goals within your middle school and your high school, you tend to find that it helps them move forward and that they find that they can work towards the smaller achievements because what we're doing is we have a big picture and I've used this metaphor before that it's think of a goal as a jigsaw puzzle, and every incremental step we take towards that goal is we're putting a piece of that jigsaw puzzle together. So that's what these small achievements are. So they may be math tests or assignments and things like that. So by setting goals for success, they can also learn a lot more about themselves and how they work. Some people work better within groups, some people work better alone, and it's really about helping them become the best version of themselves. So another way, in thinking about it in another term, um, goals allow our students to tap into their inner potential. It allows them to give them targets to work towards and really strive for who they want to be and what they want to do. So these targets help them venture into new situations, and obviously new challenges that put them in the position they need for the growth and development of their future. So most of the teenagers today have huge dreams, and some of them seem an impossible reach. And so this is where we need to help them break down the dreams and the goals so that they're not feeling so overwhelmed by them. So it's about creating proper goal setting that can break those larger ones down. As I said, the larger jigsaw puzzle into intermediating aspirations. So we're breaking them down into stepping stones. So each jigsaw piece is a stepping stone towards their goal, and helping them understand that, that is the way it steps forward. So making sure that they work towards short-term goals and long-term goals, and that they are interconnected. So that's the big jigsaw puzzle, and each piece goes in. This will give them time to this will give them more focus. It'll give them more time and more energy. Through the pursuit of those smaller goals, they will learn more about themselves and others. They'll learn about their strengths. They'll learn about their weaknesses and who they are generally as a person. And those sorts of things help us improve who we are and what we want to become. So the other thing is also through goal setting. Sorry, I've got a fair few notes here that aren't actually on the slides, so just trying to keep up. So through the goal setting, the students learn critical habits, and these critical habits are key to their success, or even our success as adults, because the students discover that a level of respect for dedication, a level of respect for their own determination that's required, and that's important for them to set these goals so they can move into college or university, their career, and just their life in general. So it's really about allowing the students some sort of autonomy around their future. And when they're allowed that, they tend to be more motivated and excited about what they're doing. So goal setting is an important way to help our students, not only by getting them through their middle school and high school, it also means by applying the same skills in the future. So they may graduate and then move into adulthood. Having goals will help them face their job application process, apply for promotions, and even become an entrepreneur if they choose. So they're just some examples of what we're doing here, is setting them up for what they will need as an adult once they leave school. All these skills that they learn are about moving forward into adulthood and being able to draw upon them when they need them. So as an adult, having goals will assist them to develop specific ways to create that balance between their mental, physical, and social pursuits that they may have in life. So in life, our kids will be called upon to give back to their family in some way, often their community and their country, in various levels of participation. I've had a fair few of my son's friends join the army and all that sort of stuff. So that's why I popped that in there. And with these goals and these aspirations in mind, they'll be able to, with introspect, learn how they can make an impact themselves as an individual. So how do we help our team set goals? I think we need to firstly allow them to understand that first, when we have the goal, it needs to be backed by intention to get the outcome. So teens, they may ask you, why have goals? That'll be a question that you get. In response to that, you can sort of say that it'll help. A goal helps you measure your process and your progress through life and the things that you want to do and the things that you want to achieve. So it's an important tool to help you navigate on a personal level in regards to how you want to develop and the things that you want to change in your life. So this may require a few goals to come together and being able to create that practicality around that. It also helps with critical thinking, decision making, time management, prioritization, and helps develop a level of determination. So if these are attributes that your child already has, fantastic. These will, by goal setting, these will obviously enhance those. If these are attributes that you find that your child is lacking, by goal setting, it will certainly help them develop those areas of their lives. Just move me out of the way up there. So what is the intention behind the goal? So what I mean by that is we need to know what is the why? What's the vision? Why does this person want this goal? Why does your child want this goal? What's important to you? Your priorities. So that can also come down to values and things like that. What does it look like? What does it feel like? So what is the outcome? So there's a little bit of visualization here, and it's really about getting them to really look and feel and have a deeper understanding of what it'll be like when they achieve that outcome. And it's a little bit like reverse engineering. We're sort of going backwards. We're starting as if we already have it, and we're looking at it. What does it feel like? And why is it so important to you? What is this vision? Why do you have this vision? Why do you want to achieve it? So we need to create focus around what the outcome looks and feels like, and we need to act as if we already have it. That's something that's quite important. Act as if we already have it. So here we can break it down into this. Oh, we'll go back. Break it down into the SMART goals. So I've just sort of tweaked it a little bit here. So S is for specific. What can you see, hear, and feel? Okay, so this is the creating the vision. Meaningful, for M, what does it mean to you? Why do you want this goal? What is that inherent part of you that desires this so badly? As if you already have it. So who will you be? What will it look like? So this is about acting as if it's already yours and you've obtained it, and having that mindset. R for realistic, consider the physical and time constraints. So time constraints could be that you have to do it by a specific time frame, obviously. And physical is, do you have all the resources? That's just not your physical being, but also means, do you have all the resources that you need? So you need to be realistic about what do I need to obtain that goal physically? Do I need something? Do I have the money to purchase that? Or whether it's a part of education, do I have the money for that education? And do I have to get it done within a specific time? So that's what we mean by being realistic about the goal itself. And the next one is time. So need an finite date, sorry. So when will this goal be achieved? And it's always good to put a date on things and not just say, oh, it'll happen when it happens. We want an achievable date. We want a finite date put on these goals. So a few things to think about. What do I have to do to achieve the goal? How do I have to act every day? Acting as if, and how do I feel and hold myself physically? So, for example, when we're talking about this, I'm just going to use this as an example. So, if you're wearing socks with holes in them, sorry, and you continue to wear those socks with holes in them, subconsciously, you're telling yourself that you can't afford new socks. So what is it that you have to do? What do you need to change is the question. So what do you have to be to achieve the goal? What do you have to be to achieve the goal? How do you have to act every day? And how do I feel and hold myself physically? So obviously also by that physically we mean, you're walking around with your head on the ground, shoulders slumped, are your shoulders back and your head's high and you're looking around and you're feeling fantastic, you're feeling motivated, you're feeling driven. How do I have to act every day? You have to act as if you want it. You have to be taking steps towards it on a daily basis. So what do I have to change? So this is a good question. What to do what I want to do, who do I need to be? I'll repeat that. To do what I want to do, who do I need to be? So I've got number one is set your SMART goals. So go through the SMART goals and set them. Number two, create focus on what it feels and looks like and create that vision. And really, if you could get tingles when you think about it. I want you to lean into all the way you feel, the body sensations about when you think about it. Do you automatically get full of excitement? Does your heart rate go up? All these sorts of things. Does it look like something? What will it look like? If you want, say you're going for an office job, what does the office look like? How does the setting, how is the seat arranged? How's your desk arranged? What does it feel like? What does it look like? And three, act as if. This is really about making sure that you are acting as if and acting in a positive way. So you can also put in positive self-talk here. So it's making sure that what's going on in here isn't contradicting what your actions are. Your actions and what's going on in here need to work in synergy. So four, take action towards it. So this is about breaking down the steps and having consistent effort. Okay, just need to take a drink. Number five, we've got pay attention. So sometimes our direction changes because stuff changes. We change every day. And just because it's a goal that you set at some stage doesn't mean that and the next one says it all is six. Be flexible with yourself. Don't be regimented and this is the goal I set and this is the way it has to be. Pay attention to who you are and how you're feeling around the goal, and because sometimes things do change. Our teenagers, if they're talking about going to university, they might have a change of heart on what they want to do at university, and so therefore they may have to change subjects, just as an example. So it's really about paying attention to what they want and how they feel about what they're doing, and be flexible with that. Don't be rigid. We need to be flexible, because in life, we need to be flexible. Things change. And number seven, lastly, be prepared to do what it takes. So what do you want? Sorry, to do what you want to do, who do you need to be? And final thoughts. Goal setting is fundamental for long-term success. This isn't a tool that we are naturally born with, and not often a tool that is taught in schools. So find out what your child is passionate about and help them work towards a plan to get there. Remember, this is their future and it's their goals. It's our job to give them the tools to achieve them. And I say this because I have firsthand experience of, well, one of my sons went through pretty much most of his schooling, and he was, into playing the guitar and arts and doing sort of quite eccentric sports like rock climbing and all these other things. And we got to sort of year 10 careers day, and we're walking in the hall and we're walking around and we're talking about subjects for the next 2 years, and we're talking about, schooling after these subjects, whether it be TAFE or university, what his thoughts were and all this sort of thing. And we walk in the door and he goes, Mum, I want to be, and we're heading towards all the arts stuff. And we walk through the door and he goes, Mum, I want to be an engineer. And it threw me for an absolute sixer. Um, and he was just academically also, that was going to be a struggle for him. But, you know, as I said, you got to be flexible and you've got to pay attention to who they are and what they want, because obviously being an engineer is a massive divergent from the arts. So it was really about, okay, all right, so math is something that you struggle with, you'll need math. You're not at the stage in your life academically where you're going to enter university as an engineer. So how else do we get you there? So we basically went along the path some years ago, and now he's a qualified and he's entering marine engineering and going out on ships and all the rest of it. So he's still got there. We had to take a different path. And yeah, so it's just remember to be flexible. And while it threw me for a sixer and I was really surprised, I just had to get into the mode of, okay, it is my job to give them the tools and help them to plan to get to where they want to be. That's our jobs as parents. So yeah, that's my final thought. And I thought I'd just throw a little story on my experience in there. So that's the end of the webinar. You can obviously find me on all the socials. If you're not a member of my Supporting Students and Empowering Parents group on Facebook, please come along and join. I do Q&As, lives on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in Melbourne. So come along, join, pop in a question, ask me anything, and I'll see what I can do about answering that for you. Anything too deep, obviously I'll send you a private message. And yeah, also the 20th of February, I have my parenting program in regards to teenagers and helping them develop emotional intelligence. That's a 6-week program. So if any of you are interested in that, please touch base with me. It does start the 20th of March. It'll be run for 2 hours every Monday for 6 weeks. So yeah, get in contact with me if that's something that you're interested in. Thank you again for joining me, and thank you for those who registered. You will receive a copy of this in your email box. So that's it for tonight. Thank you very much. Jodie Siemens, Taking Perspective.